Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat, and today we are going to be unboxing the Marvel Legends series supervillain Marvel's the Hood. Now, depending on when this video goes up, you may all know who the Hood is, or you may have never heard of him, because he is rumoured to be the main villain of the Ironheart series that will be coming up on Disney Plus some point later this year. These videos are recorded quite some time in advance, so this could be dated. Maybe everyone knows who the Hood is, but maybe people don't. Or maybe he's got an entirely different origin story in the Marvel Cinematic Universe than he does in the comics, but we're going to go into that. So here he is. The side, of course, has the lovely artwork for him, as does the other side. It's the same artwork. And on the back here, we can only just see, it says Marvel The Legend Hood here. I'm just going to scroll the camera just up a little bit so you can see what the full back looks like, just for a second. And it says here, a chance encounter with a demon gives petty thief Parker Robbins a mystical cloak and transforms him into a true criminal menace, which is very technically true. Now, I shall go into a little bit of history about the Hood. So, he does start out as just a regular criminal, and he is... I believe his wife is pregnant and his mother has some kind of illness. I can't remember if it's a physical illness or a mental illness, but both of which he requires money for. He doesn't have enough money to help both of them, and him and his friend end up being set up with this, this robbery. And when they get there, there isn't anything. There isn't any of the treasure or any of the things that we were promised. Instead, there's a ritual circle with candles all around it, and they're about to leave, and then they get jumped by this big skeleton type of demon that is actually wearing this red cloak. And Parker Robbins shoots it in the head and kills it just with an immediate headshot. And not wanting to leave empty-handed, he picks up the cloak and he takes the creature's shoes, I believe, and they run away. And then he realizes that he starts to have additional powers. The shoes allow him to basically walk on air, basically run in air, so he can essentially fly for all intents and purposes. The cloak allows him to have a whole variety of different abilities. It changes over time, pretty much depending on what was needed at that point. And then way later on in the series, Parker Robbins finds out that his cloak and his shoes and everything stop working after Doctor Strange imprisons Dormammu, and Dormammu appears to Parker Robbins in a mirror, basically saying, those are mine. And he's like, oh. It's also interesting because it actually comes with Dormammu in the same set. You also have the White Doctor Doom, you have Lady Deathstrike, we have Marvel's Arcade, which we've already reviewed on this channel, you have Red Skull, and lastly, you have the AIM Scientist Supreme, which honestly, I don't know who this is. I know Lady Deathstrike is from Marvel, is from the X-Men comics. She took on Wolverine. I know White Doctor Doom is alternate universe Doctor Doom. I believe where he actually defeated Mephisto, I think. I can't remember if it was White Doctor Doom that defeated Mephisto or not. You guys are going to have to let me know in the comment section below. And of course, the Build-A-Figure is for Zemnu, which, big Yeti-like creature. So... there we are. So I do think that the Hood does have magical bullets. There's, in fact, actually one of the first things he does is a couple of officers arrive at the scene of the crime, and he ends up killing one of the officers dead, and that's basically where his criminal reign begins, because from that point there was no turning back. And the Hood he's in quite a lot of different big factions. There's like an evil version of the Illuminati that he joins, alongside Doctor Doom and some of the other big names. I think maybe Kingpin was in there, maybe he wasn't, I can't remember. But he also had his own like super criminal organisation as well. And also after he lost his powers with Dormammu and things, he ended up making a deal with Loki, and Loki gave him not the same powers, but a different set of powers back, by giving him these stones, not Infinity Stones, but stones that give you various different powers, and that was while Loki was a female as well. So, basically, Parker Robbins is a strange and unusual character, but the fact that he's going to have more of a purpose in the brand new Ironheart series, I think it could be interesting to do an unboxing of this character and take a look at his comic book origin version. So he has a very interesting sculpt, to say the least. There we go. That's him out of his packaging. His face is constantly in that angry pose. So the back of it is just this green part here. You've got a little bit of paper here that's just, I think it's just your legalities. There's really nothing of interest there. This is all going to get put in the bin. So let's look at the figure himself. Here there is Parker Robbins, the Hood. If he would escape his prison, is there anything keeping him stuck in here? I don't think so. No tassels or anything. No, I think it is literally the hood itself that is causing all of the issues here. Okay, well, we've got Parker Robbins app, and there's the hood. Let's look at the other accessories. We have 2 regular pistols. I couldn't comment on what these pistols are. I would guess they are Beretta because they look like the Berettas that you get in Resident Evil. I do not know much about the guns. We do have the 2 magical bullet accessories. One is significantly longer than the other. There is the shorter one, and there is the longer one. I think these bullets are some of the coolest accessories that we've seen with some of these figures. It reminds me very much of the bullet firing accessories that you can get with Jigsaw. I don't have Jigsaw yet, but I do kind of want to get him because I really like that sawed-off shotgun. Obviously, I'm well aware of who Jigsaw is from the Punisher series. Well, in the movie, he was the one that killed the Punisher's family. I can't remember if that was true for the series, the comic series as well. So this is Zenmu's foot. You can see there he has articulation. It is pretty massive, and these things on occasion go for some money. I don't tend to collect the Build-A-Figure things, so. But on the plus side, the hood is not particularly difficult to get hold of, so it's not super hard to get hold of that. So in terms of the hood figure himself, so with the hood accessory, looks a little bit like Doctor Doom, I would say. Doctor Doom, sorry. Well, it does look like Doctor Doom, but actually Doctor Strange is what I was thinking of. Except he's got the hood part up. This is actually a really cool accessory. It's hard plastic. It's got a lovely texture to it. I don't know if that comes up well on camera. The way that the hood is actually designed is a very, very cool sculpt, and you have the medallion parts in the front of it as well. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. I think Parker's face could be done a bit better rather than having this super angry look on him. I think it looks a little bit ridiculous there. You can actually see, oh wow, you can actually see right under here how this works. That's a rare L from Marvel Legends. The shoulders go up that far. You have your usual bicep swivel. You have double elbow rotation, which we should be able to get a decent elbow rotation there. Yep, that's pretty cool. He only comes with the one set of hands, which are obviously they're both designed for holding the guns. They are in the the finger clocked position. He does have, this is it's a hard rubber jacket. It's not soft goods. We do have a very cool body crunch and body swivel. In terms of the legs don't extend very far. That's as far as they will go. You do have the thigh swivel and double knee rotation, which is a very generous double knee rotation. And of course, we also have the ankle pivot, which is fighting me a bit, or the ankle barely pivots. Okay, you can see it a little bit better with this foot here, but there we are. He reminds me a little bit of Max Payne in a way, if anyone remembers who Max Payne is at this point. More specifically from the original games. I'll just try and put him in a bit of a dramatic pose. So let's take a look at the accessories. So the two guns are exactly the same as one another. If this would focus in, it's really refusal. Just tap the camera. There we go. So as you can see, it's a very well designed, very cool aesthetic to a gun. Interestingly enough, there's not a hole in the front of the gun. I thought there would be to attach the bullet. So let's see how this actually attaches. I think it might actually just go on the front of the barrel of the gun. I wonder if there's an upside down or a correct way or a wrong way. No, it just clicks right in there. So that's actually a very, very cool accessory. And we will do the same with the other bullet, of course. It should just go in the same style. I think there is a correct way to put this on. So this one, the bullet is actually out of the gun a little bit. You can actually see there's a space between it, which is a very, very cool accessory. Whereas this one, the bullet is actually still coming out of the gun. You can actually see, there's the two next to one another. You can see that one is significantly longer than the other. And this one does have the space in it, whereas this one does not. So very, very cool. Let's try equipping them to the Hood himself. To Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker, no, Mr. Parker Spider-Man. This guy's first name is Parker as opposed to his last name being Parker. It's Parker Robbins as opposed to Peter Parker. And there we go. I'll position the guns up a little bit and make it look cool. Actually, maybe centralize the guns down just a little bit because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And oh my goodness, we are very out of focus. But there we go. There, that is a pretty cool sort of actiony pose from the Hood. I don't know if the Hood itself will actually be able to fit on him in this position because it is quite a... Yeah, it's not really. But if we put him in a standing position, you can get a much better look for him. Let's do something like this, shall we? He actually, looking at it, looks a little bit like Tony Montana, Scarface. Reminds me a little bit of that. I'm wondering if they maybe took inspiration from Scarface while making this character. But yeah, there we go. Very cool little figure. Let's put him on the rotation. And there we are. Very, very cool to see. Very, very nice indeed. Well, there we are, folks. He's going to sit there and do his little rotation for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, share and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so you can see when more of these little videos go up. And we will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. Just let it rotate around a little bit so I don't cut it off just a little bit too early. There you go. We'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.